I just saw Weapons, the new horror flick about a third grade class that all wanders off into the night at 2:17 a.m. I didn't plan on doing a video on this movie, nor did I plan on seeing it, really. I wanted to go see one of the new horror films that's out right now, and it was a toss-up between this and Together, the one where Dave Franco and Alison Brie morph together or something. I don't know. I don't like to know too much about a movie before seeing it. Instead of flipping a coin, I called my buddy, fellow film buff, and asked his opinion. He asked me, would you rather support Whitest Kids You Know alum Zach Cregger and his new venture into horror, or another up-and-coming Hollywood power couple of the likes of Blent and Krasinski? He knows how to sell me. And boy, howdy. What a picture.
What a picture.
What a picture.
Good picture, yeah.
No spoilers until this timestamp, so don't worry about me ruining the film. Until then, anyway. All I knew going into Weapons was the premise of the missing class, and that it starred Julia Garner, up-and-coming actress that I just saw as the Silver Surfer. Garner plays Miss Gandy, teacher of the third-grade class that vanished, and the film starts with seeing her deal with the emotional trauma that comes with disappearance of today's youth. When this movie started, I had the impression that this would be along the same lines as Denis Villeneuve's Prisoners, the film about Wolverine dealing with the disappearance of his daughter, with this one having a larger body count. This was my expectation at the start of Weapons, and that expectation began to wither my enjoyment of this movie. Miss Gandy is not a likable protagonist. We find out very early on that she's gotten into trouble with the school for giving a hug to a student, and also got reprimanded by her prior school for driving a student home. I shouldn't need to tell you that these are both major no-nos for teachers. On top of that, she has an ongoing affair with a married man. These were factors that were swirling around in my brain, and they created a stew, making me think that I didn't like this movie. Instead of crossing my arms and harumphing for the next 90 minutes, I watched the movie. Really listened to it, to see what it had to say. Something very subtle happens shortly after that triggered my memory that this was a Zach Cregger joint, the mind behind Barbarian.
What a picture.
Good picture, yeah.
And everything before and after that moment suddenly became much clearer. Zach Cregger directs his horror films as if they were a blooming flower. Very fun to look at. Until that flower blooms, however, it all lies within what's unbloomed. That flower is still there. It just hasn't revealed itself yet. If you're curious about this movie and don't know what to expect, don't read up on it. I'm gonna talk spoilers now. I like this movie. It was a good movie. Check it out.
Look. Go away! Read some books!
The moment I was referring to that caused me to remember who directed this was when the narrative switches from Justine, Miss Gandy, to Archer, a father to one of the missing classmates. This was the first of multiple narrative shifts, each divided by a title card of the respective characters' names. During Justine's vignette, there were a few tonal discrepancies in which the dour mood of what was going on was injected with humorous editing. For example, Justine is clearly spiraling from the parents accusing her of having a part in her class's disappearance, so she calls Han Solo for a drink. He tells her he's only having a Coke, to which she pleads with him for just one drink, then it hard cut to them the next morning. That kind of funny editing didn't sit well with me, given the context of the unfolding story, but once we see Archer's perspective in his vignette, the humorous tone makes itself much more apparent. Before seeing this movie, I was picturing that the cause for the class's disappearance could be maybe some kind of government research, kind of like what we saw in Jordan Peele's Us, where all the clones were living. It ain't that. It's a witch. During Justine's vignette, someone vandalized her car with the word witch in giant red paint, and we see in Archer's chapter that it was him. I thought to myself, now why would Archer, a seemingly normal, albeit currently troubled parent, choose to write witch on her car? Of all words to vandalize it with, other than just to wink at the audience, that one detail should have been cut in my opinion. If witch was painted onto her car by some random unseen person, it wouldn't have set off that alarm like it did knowing it was Archer. The big takeaway I gathered from this movie was the importance of letting a movie play out before making judgment. Had I walked out after the first few instances of seemingly misplaced humor, I wouldn't have gotten to see the full picture. And it was pretty great. Cool movie. Go check it out. In the end, Weapons wasn't like Prisoners at all. It was more similar to Oz Perkins' Longlegs. I did a video on that one as well. Go check it out. Thanks for watching.